The roar of the crowd hit like a tidal wave, but it was the sickening crack that drowned everything out. Jordan's leg folding under him mid-stride, his body crumpling on the rain-slicked field like a promise broken in slow motion. I shoved through the chaos of teammates and medics, my heart slamming against my ribs, dropping to my knees beside him as his blue eyes met mine, wide with shock and something deeper, unspoken. "Alex," he whispered, gripping my hand so tight it hurt, "don't leave me here." That night in the sterile hum of the ER, the world narrowed to the beeps of machines and the antiseptic sting in the air. Jordan lay there, his golden boy glow dimmed under the fluorescent lights, his right leg elevated in a temporary splint that looked like it belonged on a battlefield, not a 20-year-old quarterback from a small liberal arts college in upstate New York. The doctors murmured about compound fractures, surgeries, and timelines that stretched into months, maybe longer. Football was his oxygen, the thing that made the pressure of being the only son of a state senator bearable, and now it was slipping away like sand through his fingers. I sat in the vinyl chair beside his bed, pretending to scroll through my phone, but really just watching him stare at the ceiling, his jaw clenched so hard I could see the muscle twitch. We'd been friends since freshman orientation, thrown together in the same dorm when I was the awkward theater kid with a backpack full of scripts, and he was the instant legend with scouts already buzzing. Alex Rivera, that's me, half Mexican, half Irish, all invisible until Jordan decided I was his good luck charm. "You're the only one who doesn't treat me like a trophy," he'd said once, after a game where he'd thrown 4 touchdowns and the party raged until dawn. I'd laughed it off, but it stuck, burrowing into the quiet ache I carried for him. The one where I'd catch myself lingering too long on the way his laugh lit up a room, or how his hand on my shoulder felt like home. By morning, the news had spread like wildfire across campus. Reporters from the local paper hovered outside the hospital doors, and Jordan's dad, Senator Harlan Brooks, arrived in a sleek black SUV, his face a mask of controlled fury. "This is a setback, son, not the end," he barked, pacing the room like he owned it. Which, in a way, he did. Harlan was the kind of man who saw his son's talent as an extension of his own legacy, a ticket to bigger stadiums and brighter futures. Jordan just nodded, his eyes flicking to me in the corner, a silent plea I couldn't ignore. "Dad, Alex is sticking around. He's helping with notes and stuff." Harlan sized me up, 5'10" to his 6'2", glasses perpetually sliding down my nose, and grunted. "Fine, but don't let this drag on, Jordan. We've got plans. Plans that didn't include crutches or therapy sessions, or, God forbid, doubts." As soon as he left, Jordan exhaled like he'd been holding his breath for years. "Thanks for not bailing," he said, his voice rough from the pain meds. I shrugged, forcing a grin. Where else would I be? Someone's got to make sure you don't charm the nurses into sneaking you beer. The first week blurred into a rhythm of hospital visits and takeout Chinese from the spot off campus that Jordan swore by. I'd wheel him down to the courtyard when the weather cleared, the autumn leaves crunching under the chair's tires, and we'd talk about everything except the elephant in the splint. Like how Professor Langley's lit class was dissecting The Great Gatsby, and Jordan finally got why Gatsby was such a fool for the green light. Or the way his little sister, Mia, had texted him a string of memes about reinventing yourself as a pirate with a peg leg. Laughter came easier out there, under the crisp blue sky, but I saw the cracks, the way he'd flinch when a teammate posted highlights on Instagram, or how his phone buzzed with messages from girls he'd dated on a whim, all sympathy and invitations to cheer him up. One afternoon, as I pushed him back inside, he grabbed my wrist. "Alex, what if this is it? No more games, no more. Everything." His voice cracked, and for the first time, I saw the fear raw and unfiltered. Not the Jordan who high-fived after wins, but the boy who'd confessed over late-night pizza that his dad once locked him in his room for getting a B in poli-sci. I knelt beside the chair, our faces level. "Then we figure out the next play. Together." The words hung there, heavier than I meant, and his gaze softened, searching mine like he was seeing me for the first time. Or maybe the last. Back in our dorm, Jordan had insisted on signing out early against doctor's orders. The space felt smaller, charged. Posters of Super Bowls past curled at the edges on his side, while mine sagged with playbills from off-Broadway shows I'd dragged him to. He propped his leg on the futon, remote in hand, flipping channels until he landed on some old rom-com. "This crap's better than staring at walls," he muttered. I settled beside him, close enough to feel the heat off his skin, and for a while, it was easy, quoting lines, tossing popcorn. Until a scene hit where the leads confessed under fireworks, and Jordan went quiet. "You ever think about that?" he asked, not looking at me. "Falling for someone who gets you no games?" My throat tightened. I'd thought about it every day since that orientation mixer, when he'd bumped my shoulder and said, "Hey, script boy, save me a seat at the bonfire." But admitting it now, with him broken and beautiful and so close, it was a grenade with the pin half pulled. "Yeah," I said softly. "More than you know." He turned then, his hand brushing mine on the cushion, and the air thickened. But the moment shattered with a knock. Coach Ramirez, bearing fruit baskets and tough love. "You're tougher than this, Brooks. Get back out there." Jordan's mask slipped back on, and I swallowed the what-ifs. As November deepened, the campus buzzed with midterms and homecoming prep, but Jordan's world shrank to PT sessions and pain that woke him at night. I'd hear him shifting in the bunk above mine, muffled curses when his leg throbbed. One night, around 2 a.m., he swung down the ladder, landing with a wince, and collapsed onto my bed. "Can't sleep. Talk to me." I sat up, the mattress dipping under his weight. In the moonlight slanting through the blinds, he looked younger, stripped of the armor. We talked about dumb stuff first, favorite horror flicks, the time he streaked the quad on a dare, then deeper. His fear of letting his dad down. The pressure of being the straight-A jock, when half the time, he just wanted to read poetry in peace. "And you," he pressed. "What's the real Alex Rivera story? Not the one you tell everyone." I hesitated, heart pounding. "I'm gay, Jordan. Have been since forever. And yeah, it's made things complicated." The words tumbled out, a confession I'd rehearsed in mirrors but never voiced to him. Silence stretched, thick as fog, and panic clawed up my chest. Then he nodded, slow, like piecing a puzzle. "Figures. You're the only one who ever really saw me." Relief flooded me, mixed with a spark of hope I didn't dare name. He didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned his head on my shoulder, and we stayed like that until dawn, the line between friends blurring into something fragile and new. Thanksgiving loomed like a storm cloud. Jordan's family expected him home in Albany, the senator's mansion decked in traditions that felt more like performances. "Come with me," he said one evening over lukewarm pizza, his eyes earnest. "Mia misses you, and I don't want to do this alone." I wanted to, God, I wanted to be his anchor, but the thought of Harlan's dissecting gaze twisted my gut. "Your dad hates surprises," I joked weakly. Jordan's laugh was bitter. "He hates anything that doesn't fit his script. But screw it. You're my surprise." The drive upstate was a blur of gray highways and classic rock on the radio, Jordan's good leg tapping rhythmically to Springsteen. He dozed against the window, and I stole glances, memorizing the curve of his lashes, the faint scar on his chin from a childhood bike wreck. When we pulled into the driveway, the house loomed, colonial brick, lights twinkling like false cheer. Mia tackled me at the door, all 13-year-old energy in braids, chattering about school drama. Harlan shook my hand like it was a formality, his eyes cold. "Alex, didn't expect company." Jordan shot me an apologetic look, but I squared my shoulders. "Wouldn't miss turkey, Senator." Dinner was a minefield. Harlan dominated with stories of legislative wins, probing Jordan about backup plans for his little mishap. Mia rolled her eyes under the table, passing me notes on her phone about her crush on a girl from art club. Jordan deflected with charm, but I saw the strain, his fork scraping the plate too hard. After pie, when Harlan cornered him in the study about scouts and futures, I lingered in the hall, catching fragments. "You're not throwing it all away for some phase." My blood ran cold. Phase. As if Jordan's pain was temporary, like his injury. Later, in the guest room Jordan had commandeered as his, we sprawled on the rug with a bottle of smuggled whiskey. "He's scared," Jordan said, staring at the ceiling fan. "Scared I'll end up like him, chasing approval that never comes." I wanted to rage, to tell him he deserved better than that shadow. Instead, I traced the veins on his forearm, a tentative touch. "You're not him. You're you." His breath hitched, and he turned, our faces inches apart. The kiss was inevitable, soft at first, then desperate, like he'd been holding back a lifetime. It tasted of bourbon and fear and everything we'd denied. But as his hand cupped my neck, a creak from the hall froze us. Harlan's voice, low and sharp. "Jordan? Lights out." We pulled apart, hearts racing, the moment fracturing like glass. That night, sleep evaded me, the what-ifs multiplying. Was this real, or just injury-fueled vulnerability? By morning, Jordan was distant over coffee, laughing too loud at me as jokes, avoiding my eyes. The drive back was silent, radio off, the space between us widening like a chasm. Campus felt alien upon return, the holiday buzz clashing with the knot in my chest. Jordan threw himself into rehab with a vengeance. Early mornings at the gym, evenings buried in textbooks for the poli-sci major his dad had mapped out. I buried myself in rehearsals for the spring play, a queer retelling of Romeo and Juliet that felt too on the nose. We'd text sporadically, "Killed it at PT today," or "Nailed the audition." But the warmth from Thanksgiving evaporated, replaced by polite distance. Friends noticed. Tyler, the team's wide receiver and Jordan's roommate from last year, cornered me at the coffee shop. "What's up with Brooks? He's ghosting everyone, but especially you." "Spill." I shrugged, stirring my latte too fast. "Injury blues. He's processing." Tyler snorted, his easy grin fading. "Nah, man. Word is, his dad's in his ear about focus, code for ditching distractions. And you know." The implication hung, sharp as a blade. Distraction. The gay kid. I laughed it off, but it festered, a seed of doubt blooming into full paranoia. Was that why Jordan pulled back? Because Harlan's prejudices were seeping in, turning our kiss into a liability? The misunderstanding peaked at the winter formal, campus's attempt at glamour in a drafty gym strung with fairy lights. I'd gone stag, tux borrowed from the theater closet, determined to dance away the ache. Jordan showed with a date. Lila, the sorority girl with perfect waves and a laugh like wind chimes. She clung to his arm, all sympathy and sequence, and he played along, his crutch swapped for a cane that made him look debonair. I watched from the punch bowl, glass sweating in my hand, as they swayed to some pop ballad. His eyes found mine across the room, a flicker of apology, but then Lila pulled him closer, and something snapped. I bolted outside, the cold slapping my face, tears hot and unwelcome. Leaning against the brick wall, I fumbled for my phone, typing a message I deleted 3 times. Was it nothing? Footsteps crunched. Jordan, cane clicking. "Alex, wait." He looked wrecked. "Bow tie askew." "Lila's just. Cover. Dad's visiting next week. Wants me stable." Stable. The word was acid. "And I'm the unstable part? Your experiment." My voice broke. "Raw?" He reached for me, but I stepped back. "That night wasn't nothing, Alex. But I can't. We can't. Not yet. Not yet." It echoed like rejection, and I walked away, the formal's music mocking me into the night. Winter gripped Ithaca like a vice, snow blanketing the quad in silence that mirrored the one between us. Jordan's rehab progressed, weight on the leg, tentative jogs on the indoor track, but our friendship fractured, texts going unanswered, paths crossed with nods and excuses. I threw myself into the play, channeling the hurt into Mercutio's fire, the director praising my visceral edge. Tyler tried bridging, inviting me to team hangouts where Jordan sat on the fringes, nursing a beer, his laughs forced. Prejudices simmered under the surface, a teammate's offhand fairy joke about the theater crowd, Harlan's voice in my head labeling me a phase. Then came the surprise, the letter. Slipped under my door one blustery afternoon, Jordan's handwriting shaky on the envelope. Inside, pages of confession, the fear his dad instilled, the confusion after our kiss, the therapy sessions where he'd admitted, for the first time, that he was terrified of losing everything. "You're not a distraction, Alex. You're the only thing that makes sense. I pushed you away to protect us, but it's killing me. Meet me at the field tonight." My hands trembled as I read, hope warring with wariness. The field, where it all shattered. Full circle. Dusk painted the sky purple as I approached, snowflakes swirling like confetti gone wrong. Jordan waited on the bleachers, no cane, just him, vulnerable, illuminated by the stadium lights they'd left on for maintenance. "I told my dad," he said as I sat, voice steady. About the injury, about us. He didn't take it well, called it a weakness, hung up. But me is on my side, and Tyler. He figured it out, said he's got my back. Tears pricked my eyes, not from pain, but release. And you? What do you want? He took my hand, deliberate, no hesitation. You, if you'll have the mess I am. The kiss this time was under open sky, snow melting on our cheeks, a promise forged in the cold. But drama doesn't end with a fade out. Harlan's retaliation brewed, scholarships whispered about, teammates tested. Yet in that moment, with Jordan's heartbeat sinking to mine, the conflicts felt surmountable, love as the ultimate comeback. Spring thawed the campus reluctantly, crocuses pushing through snow like stubborn hope, mirroring the tentative rebuild between Jordan and me. We kept it low-key at first, study sessions in the library that stretched into midnight confessions, walks around BB Lake where he'd lean on me less for support and more for closeness. His legs strengthened daily, the limp fading to a subtle hitch, but the real healing was internal. Therapy became his new playbook, unpacking layers of expectation his dad had layered on since Pee-wee football. He wanted a legacy, Jordan admitted one evening, skipping stones across the water, but I want a life. I squeezed his hand, the simple act still electric. Then let's build one. Campus life ramped up, midterms giving way to the buzz of spring training. Jordan couldn't play, but he shadowed practices, clipboard in hand, offering pointers that Coach Ramirez soaked up like gospel. Teammates rallied, Tyler organizing Brooks' comeback barbecues. Even the lineman who'd ribbed him about going soft, now slapping his back with genuine fire. But not everyone. Whispers followed. A defensive back named Kyle, all bulk and bravado, muttering about priorities shifting when Jordan skipped a kegger for our date night at a hole-in-the-wall Italian place. Lila cornered me in the dining hall, her smile sharp. He's confused, Alex. The injury messed with his head. Don't be the one who keeps him down. Her words burrowed, feeding the insecurities I'd buried. Was I holding him back from the normal path? Girls, glory, the script Harlan wrote? Jordan sensed the shift, pulling me aside after rehearsal. What's eating you? In the dim theater wing, props stacked like forgotten dreams, I spilled it. The doubts, the fear that our love was a rebound from his fall. He cupped my face, thumbs brushing my cheeks. Lila's projecting. She's got her own closet. This, us, is real. Messy, yeah, but real. We kissed there, amid the scent of sawdust and paint, reaffirming in whispers what words couldn't capture. Harlan's visit hit like a nor'easter. He arrived unannounced, striding into Jordan's PT session like he owned the gym. I was there, spotting Jordan on the treadmill, when the door banged open. Son, we need to talk. Harlan's eyes flicked to me, dismissal etched in every line. Jordan wiped sweat from his brow, chin lifting. Dad, this is Alex. You remember. A nod, Kurt. The friend. Look, Jordan, the lawyer's called, scouts are pulling back. Without football, your ride to law school evaporates. Time to refocus. Refocus. The word again, laced with venom. Jordan's face hardened, the boy yielding to the man emerging. I'm studying poli-sci because I wanna, not for your firm. And Alex isn't a distraction, he's family. Harlan's laugh was bark without mirth. Family? He's a phase, like this injury. Get your head straight, or you'll end up regretting it. The room spun for me, old wounds reopening. I excused myself, fleeing to the locker room, where the echo of lockers slamming matched my pulse. Jordan found me minutes later, Harlan's SUV peeling out of the lot. He doesn't get to define us, Jordan said, pulling me into a hug that smelled of effort and resolve. But the damage lingered, a shadow on our sunshine. The play's opening night was a whirlwind, sold-out house, standing ovations, my Mercutio drawing cheers for the raw grief in his death scene. Jordan sat front row, eyes shining brighter than the spotlights, bouquet of wildflowers in hand. Backstage, amid hugs and champagne, he pulled me into a prop closet for a stolen moment. You were incredible. Like you ripped my heart out and handed it back. Laughter bubbled up, easing the week's tension. We emerged to after-party cheers, Tyler toasting, to underdogs and comebacks. His wink inclusive enough to warm the chill Kyle's glares cast. But prejudice doesn't bow to applause. The next day, flyers appeared on dorm bulletin boards, anonymous, typed in block letters. Brooks betrays team spirit, distracted by drama? Accompanied by a blurry photo of Jordan and me at the lake, hands linked. Panic rippled. Who snapped it? Kyle's smug grin in the quad screamed culprit. Jordan confronted him at practice, cane discarded, voice level but lethal. If you're man enough to spread shit, be man enough to own it. Kyle shrugged, all false innocence. Just looking out for the team, man. Your dad's gonna hear about this. The threat hung, but Jordan didn't flinch. Let him. I'm done hiding. The fallout cascaded. Harlan called, voice thunderous over speakerphone in our room. What the hell is this? Sabotaging your future for what? Some liberal college fling. Jordan held the phone steady, me beside him like a sentinel. It's love, Dad. Real, like Mom would have wanted. Silence. Then a click, dissonance echo. Mia texted support, sneaking calls from her mom's line. Teammates divided. Tyler and a core rallied, organizing a team meeting where Jordan came out fully, stories of his own bisexuality, weaving vulnerability with strength. Kyle stormed out, but others stayed, hugs replacing hesitations. Surprise twisted the knife when Lila confessed. She'd leaked the photo, egged on by Kyle's taunts, her own shame fueling sabotage. I thought if I pushed him away, he'd see me, she sobbed in the student center, Jordan forgiving with a quiet grace that humbled us all. Hurt people hurt, but we're better. The understanding diffused the bomb, turning enemy to ally, her apology a bridge to broader acceptance. As summer beckoned, conflicts crested at the regional PT showcase, a mock game for rehabbed athletes. Jordan ran drills, leg holding, crowd, team, family fragments, me, cheering. But Harlan appeared, uninvited, face stormy. Midway, he pulled Jordan aside, words lost in the din, but the shove, subtle, paternal fury, ignited chaos. I surged forward, Tyler at my flank, as Jordan shoved back, yelling, I'm not your puppet. Security intervened, Harlan ejected, but the high of Jordan's triumph soured into grief. That night, on the empty field, we sat under stars, his head on my lap. He'll come around. Or he won't. But I've got you. Tears fell, cathartic, washing prejudice's stain. Love, we learned, thrives in the tension, forging steel from silk. Summer unfurled in lazy heat waves, campus emptying to echoes, but Jordan and I stayed, subletting a tiny apartment off the commons, our first real nest, away from dorm prying. It was a shoebox, sagging couch, kitchenette with a finicky stove, windows overlooking an alley where cats yowled symphonies at dusk. But it was ours, walls we painted sky blue, shelves crammed with his poli-sci texts and my dog-eared scripts. Mornings started with coffee on the fire escape, legs tangled, planning days that blurred into nights of takeout and talks that peeled back souls. Jordan interned at a local nonprofit, advocating for youth sports equity, ironic therapy for his sidelined dreams. Turning pain into purpose, he'd say, eyes alight as he drafted grants. I waitressed at a campus cafe, pockets full of tips and stories for our evenings, reenacting rude customers with exaggerated flair. Laughter came freer now, but shadows lingered. Harlan's silence a void. Kyle's transfer to a rival school a petty victory. Mia visited for a weekend, her chatter filling gaps, teaching us TikTok dances that left us wheezing. You too are goals, she declared, snapping candids we pretended to hate. Yet misunderstandings crept in, subtle as humidity. Jordan's late nights at the office stretched, calls curt with fatigue. I'd pace the apartment, mind spinning tales of regret. Him realizing the straight path was easier. One night, dinner cold on the table, he walked into my accusation. Am I just the safe harbor till the storm passes? Hurt flashed in his eyes, mirroring mine. Safe? You're the storm, Alex, the one that woke me up. We argued, voices rising over Thai leftovers, unpacking fears. His of abandonment like his parents' divorce, mine of being the experiment label. It ended in tears and apologies, bodies curled on the couch, reaffirming with touches that spoke louder than shouts. A surprise jolt came mid-July, an email from a literary agent, scouting my play adaptation for publication. Queer voices like yours are revolutionizing theater. It read, CCNG Jordan. He hooped, lifting me in a spin despite his legs' protest. This is huge. Dinner out, my treat. We splurged at a rooftop bistro, city lights twinkling like approvals, toasting futures where he lobbied for change, and I directed off-Broadway. But Joy's peak invited plummet. Harlan's letter arrived days later, forwarded via Mia. Pages of ultimatum, cut ties or lose inheritance, laced with Bible quotes twisted into weapons. Jordan read it aloud, voice steady, then burned it in the sink, flames dancing like defiance. He's lost me already. I choose us. Campus reconvened in August's sticky embrace, freshmen wide-eyed, upperclassmen tanned and tails heavy. Jordan walked without aid, rejoining team as assistant coach, his insights gold. Tyler threw a welcome bash, bonfire crackling, beers flowing. We arrived hand in hand, testing waters, some cheers, awkward pauses, but acceptance's tide rose. Kyle's absence helped, his spot filled by Ravi, an out-transfer who bonded with Jordan over shared bisexuality. Lila apologized publicly, volunteering for the nonprofit, her redemption arc genuine. I was scared of my own reflection, she admitted over coffee. Forgiveness flowed, weaving a tighter circle. Fall's foliage turned fiery, mirroring tensions reigniting. Homecoming loomed, Harlan's shadow over the event like a pall. Jordan wanted to face it, march in the parade, show the town his truth. No more hiding, he insisted, practicing speeches in our mirror. I supported, but anxiety gnawed. What if rejection scarred deeper? Mia flew in, bolstering with teen wisdom. Uncle H's just a grumpy old lion. Roar louder. Rehearsals for my published play, now Verona's Echoes, intensified. My directorial debut, Jordan stage managing with flair. The week before the game, conflict erupted. A conservative alumni donor pulled funding from the theater department, citing inappropriate content in my script. Whispers traced to Harlan's influence, his senator clout flexing. Rage boiled. Art is casualty to prejudice. Jordan rallied, organizing a petition with the team, signatures flooding in. This is bigger than us, he said at a strategy huddle in our apartment. Maps of allies spread like war plans. Tyler fronted a GoFundMe. Ravi designed graphics. Lila handled PR. The surge surprised. National blogs picked it up, queer icons retweeting, donations pouring. Homecoming dawned crisp, banners flapping. The parade route thrummed, floats, bands. Jordan and me atop the team convertible, hands clasped. Cheers swelled, but Harlan's booth loomed at the fairgrounds, flyers decrying campus radicalism. He spotted us, face purpling, but Mia intercepted, her small frame fierce. Grandpa, stop being a jerk. The moment diffused with laughter, bystanders clapping. The game, exhibition for Jordan, ended in a win, his halftime speech on resilience drawing tears. Post-victory, under stadium lights, he proposed not rings, but commitment. Move in after graduation. Build the life we deserve. But climax brewed off-field. That night, Harlan cornered us at the after-party, drunk on scotch and spite. You've poisoned him, boy, he slurred to me, finger jabbing. Jordan stepped between, voice thunder. Enough. I love him. Accept or walk. Harlan swung. A wild haymaker Jordan dodged, leg buckling slightly. Chaos. Tyler restraining, security swarming. Harlan ejected again, but not before tears cracked his facade. I just wanted better for you. Jordan's reply soft. This is better. In the aftermath, father and son talked. Raw. Hours on the phone. Harlan admitting his own repressed youth, a fragile bridge forming. Surprises layered. The donor relented, funding tripled by public outcry. My play premiered to rave reviews. Jordan's proud tears backstage the best curtain call. Yet growth demanded tensions forge. Jordan's leg twinged in stress, my imposter syndrome flaring. We navigated, therapy joint now, unpacking layers. Love deepened, not in perfection, but persistence. Friendships fortified, prejudices chipped away, misunderstandings mended into strength. Winter's chill returned with sophomore slush, but our rhythm held. Classes, causes, quiet intimacies that anchored amid whirlwinds. Jordan's poli-sci thesis on LGBTQ plus youth in sports gained traction, professors buzzing, a conference invite to DC. I directed a holiday one-act, Silent Lights, about hidden loves in small towns. Jordan in the ensemble, his natural charisma stealing scenes. Reviews called it tenderly revolutionary, and we celebrated with mulled wine at a cabin rental upstate, snow blanketing pines like absolution. Harlan's thaw was tentative, awkward calls, a care package of Jordan's childhood books, no mention of me, but no barbs either. Mia mediated, her updates laced with hope. He's reading your articles, bro. Progress, inching. But external storms gathered. National news cycled anti-trans bills. Harlan's committee chairing one. Jordan wrestled publicly, penning op-eds that went viral, pitting son against father in headlines. It's not personal, he'd say, but the strain etched lines around his eyes. Nights he woke gasping from dreams of division. A misunderstanding flared during finals week, exhaustion's fault line. I'd been cast in a summer stock production in Provincetown. Queer Mecca, dream gig, but it meant weeks apart. Jordan's congratulations rang hollow, his proud of you clipped. Over ramen in the dining hall, it erupted. You're bailing when I need you most, he accused, voice low but laced with abandonment's echo. Hurt ricocheted, me feeling selfish, him exposed. This is my dream, Jordan. Like your advocacy. Tears at the table, forks abandoned. We hashed it raw. His fear of losing me to brighter lights. My guilt over his sacrifices. Resolution came in the snow-dusted quad. Apologies whispered. Plans adjusted. Him visiting for opening weekend. Surprise struck at the DC conference. A scout from a pro-developmental league approached, not for playing, but coaching. Your story inspires. Resilience sells. Jordan's face lit, but doubt shadowed. I'm not that guy anymore. I countered at our hotel, Potomac glittering below. You're more. Take it, for the kids who need to see. He did. Interview aced, offer pending. Back on campus, the team toasted, Ravi quipping. From QB to sensei, legendary arc. Spring bloomed with promise, but prejudices thorns pricked. A freshman, inspired by our story, came out at a GSA meeting. Only for dorm RA to out him to parents, Harlan's old ally. Outrage mobilized, Jordan leading protests, me scripting awareness videos. The RA resigned, policy reformed, victory bittersweet. Lila, now deep in therapy, shared her journey, strengthening our circle. Tyler started dating a guy from the debate team, coming out with Jordan's wingman support. Bromance evolved. Climax crested at graduation's eve. Harlan arriving unbidden, suit crisp, expression schooled. Dinner at a lakeside inn. Jordan, me, Mia, him, tension thick as fog. Harlan cleared his throat over appetizers. I've been reevaluating. Read your thesis, son. It's good work. Pause, eyes on me. And Alex, your play. Mia sent the clipping. Impactful. Stilted praise, but genuine thaw. Jordan's hand found mine under the table, squeeze conveying worlds. Dessert brought the ask. Can we try? Family redefined. Hugs followed. Awkward but warm. Harlan's pat on my shoulder a milestone. Yet drama's pulse quickened post-ceremony. The coaching offer came with a catch. Relocation to Texas, conservative heartland. Jordan agonized. Dream job versus support network. What if it's back to square one, hiding? Nights of maps and pros-cons lists. My Provincetown gig looming. Conflict peaked in a thunderstorm. Rain lashing windows as we paced. Go, I urged. Prove love travels. He wavered. Then, surprise call from the league. Hybrid role, Ithaca-based pilot program. Elation crashed waves. Plans solidifying. Co-op apartment downtown. My theater pursuits. His coaching. Summer's end marked gross harvest. Harlan attending my closing night in P-Town. Standing ovation shared. Misunderstandings? Mere footnotes now. Character deepened by trials. Love, we knew, wasn't absence of storm, but dancing in it. Friends as family, prejudices as past, surprises as gifts. Post-grad haze settled like autumn mist. Ithaca's charm now home's anchor as we navigated the real-world tandem. Jordan's coaching gig launched with fanfare. Youth clinic at Cornell, blending football fundamentals with inclusivity workshops. Kids flocked. His energy magnetic. Stories of his injury turning scars to stars. I landed adjunct status at the college, teaching playwriting, scripts flowing from our shared well of experience. Evenings, we'd debrief over craft brews at the local pub, Tyler's crew joining. tales escalating into inside jokes. Harlan's integration progressed haltingly. Monthly dinners, his questions probing but softening, Mia's glue. He's trying. Jordan confided one crisp night, leaves swirling. For her, for us. A surprise gift, season tickets to Broadway. For the thespian, note reading. I teared up, Jordan hugging from behind. See? Lions learn vegan. Laughter healed old rifts. But tension simmered in microaggressions. A parent at the clinic griping about woke agendas. Kyle resurfacing on socials with veiled digs from his new team. Jordan brushed off, but it chafed. A deeper conflict brewed when I got an offer. Assistant director at a Chicago equity theater, prestigious but uprooting. It's everything. I enthused over breakfast, bagels toasting. Jordan's fork paused, smile strained. Congrats. But, us. The unspoken loomed. His program rooted here, our life woven tight. Misunderstanding snowballed. Him withdrawing into work, me rehearsing monologues of independence. Culminated in a blowout after a gala fundraiser. Champagne fizzing with unspoken fears. Are you relieved? Free of the small-town gay? He hurled, vulnerability cracking. I reeled, countering. Or are you scared I'll outgrow the caution? Raw truths spilled. His abandonment ghosts, my fear of stagnation. Dawn brought clarity, curled on the floor amid takeout boxes. Compromise. I'd commute, pilot a long-distance trial, trust as bridge. Surprise sweetened the pot. Chicago gig flexible, remote directing hybrid. We tested, weekends shuttling Amtrak, calls laced with longing. Strengthened us, absence sharpening presence. Back full-time, Harlan's next visit overlapped a workshop. He observed, post-session admitting, you too. Balance each other. Milestone, prejudices peeling. Winter holidays tested bonds, family dynamics clashing. Mia's coming out as Pan drew Harlan's stuttered support, our example catalyst. Tyler's wedding to his debate beau. Us best men, speeches roasting with love. Lila, maid of honor, her toast. To found families. Joy peaked, but a curveball. Jordan's leg, old injury flaring under coaching stress, MRI looming. Fear echoed that ER night, but therapy duo, support unyielding. Clean bill, strain, not snap, reliefs exhale. Spring's renewal brought professional highs. My Chicago production touring, Jordan guest speaking at TEDx, from sidelines to spotlights. Conflicts? Minor, jealousy over packed schedules, mended with date nights. Growth evident. Him advocating bills with Harlan's lobby ear, me mentoring queer writers. Surprises abounded. Mia interning summers, circle expanding. Climax crested at a national sports equity summit. Harlan keynoting beside Jordan. Tension peaked, old guard heckling, slurs flying. Jordan countered, mic steady. Prejudice benches us all. Harlan, unexpected, joined. My son's right. Time to play fair. Applause thundered, bridge solidified. Back home, under fireworks, Jordan knelt. Not proposal, but vow. Wherever next, together. Emotions crested, love's depth plumbed. Summer's lazy cadence allowed reflection. Misunderstandings as teachers, prejudices as foes felled, surprises as plot twists embraced. Characters evolved. Jordan from shadowed star to luminous leader, me from sidelined observer to co-protagonist. Friendships web, Tyler, Ravi, Lila, Mia, fortress. Tensions thread wove tapestry rich, emotions raw fuel for enduring flame. Years layered like sedimentary rock, each stratum marking evolutions etched in time's patient hand. 5 postgrad, Ithaca evolved. Our apartment traded for a craftsman bungalow on the hill, garden wild with Mia's zinnias, porch swing creaking under starlit confessions. Jordan's program burgeoned into a foundation, scholarships for injured athletes, inclusivity core. My theater company, Echo Stages, thrived, productions touring coasts, queer narratives normalizing. Harlan's arc arced gentle, retirement looming, weekends fishing with Jordan, me included, Bates cast in companionable quiet. You remind me of my brother. He once grunted over trout, long-lost Uncle Gay, disowned echo. Understanding dawned, prejudices roots unearthed. Mia, college freshman nearby, crashed often, her pan flag proud, our home haven. Conflicts arose inevitable. Career forks. Jordan offered directorship at a California academy, sun-soaked promise. Expansion. He urged, maps unfurled. I countered with New York expansion for echo stages, Broadway beckoning. Standoff stretched weeks, dinners tense, silences heavy. Choose us over ambition? I whispered one rain-lashed night. His reply, pained, ambition without us is hollow. Impasse broke at therapy, neutral ground yielding hybrid. Foundation satellite in New York, commutes balanced. Trust rebuilt, stronger lattice. Misunderstandings ghost revisited in subtler guise. A documentary crew profiling Jordan, framing me peripheral. Clips aired. The comeback king and his supportive partner. Supportive. Ache flared, erasure's sting. Confronted over wine, he owned. My oversight. Your co-star. Rewrite ensued. My interviews woven. Narrative equalized. Growth. Communications muscle flexed. Surprises delighted. A publisher approached for our co-memoir, Sideline Hearts. Weaving injury, identity, intersectional love. Writing sessions marathon. Laughter amid tears, bestseller buzz. Tyler's family grew. Adopted twins, us godparents, chaos joyful. Lila's nonprofit merged with Jordan's power duo. Climax brewed in national reckoning. Harlan's old bill resurrected. Anti-LGBTQ plus riders attached. Summit in D.C., Jordan testifying, me beside, Harlan's vote pivotal. Hearing room electric, testimonies harrowing. Youth silenced, families fractured. Jordan's speech, forged from our fire. Bench the hate, field the future. Harlan, eyes glistening, defected, vote flipped bill dead. Backlash roared, donors fled, media mauled, but vindications tied. Awards, allies amassed. Post-vote, under cherry blossoms, Harlan clasped our hands, proud of both. Full circle, prejudices pulverized. Summer's aftermath, foundation grants surged, echo stages endowed chair. Personal peaks, Mia graduating, us beaming. Tyler's vow renewal, speeches heartfelt. Yet drama's denouement whispered tensions resolved not erased. Leg twinges and marathons run, career juggles eternal. Emotions deepened, love's quiet profundity, friendships steadfast, characters' arcs complete, yet ongoing. From that cracked field to this, unbroken.